So imagine that you are a 1860s, 1870s locomotive, and you're about to go chugga 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 chugga, and you're in the tunnel, blowing steam, whistling loud, being as happy as a train can be. So picture this. It's the 1800s. People are coming from the East Coast to the West Coast to mine for gold, to be pioneers, to be settlers, displacing the natives, of course. We'll go into that at some other point. But the picture I'm trying to paint to you is before the Transcontinental Railroad, it was an incredibly arduous, is that a word? Journey, very difficult. Could go either through the mountains or the deserts, but it was perilous either way. In the 1840s, the Donner Party got lost here in the Sierra Nevada, which is where I am today. I'm actually at Donner Pass, and I'm here in Northern California. Now, the 1860s come along, and they decide that they're gonna make the Transcontinental Railroad that runs from one side of the country to the other, connects everybody, and reduces the travel time from over 100 days to about 6. So think about that. That is where we are today. We are on Donner Pass. Right now I'm in the parking lot of the Sugar Bowl Ski Resort, and I'm about to show you a little bit of history. See, up here, it gets very, very snowy in the winter and very, very cold. And it would be very difficult for trains to pass through here. So they had to build tunnels and sheds that were in use actually until the 1990s, still owned by the Union Pacific Railroad, but are no longer in service. And we're gonna go explore. On our way to the first tunnel. There are wildflowers everywhere up here. I was just informed by somebody who drove by of a secret location where I can go take macro photos later. And this time I actually have a fully charged battery. Here's my lovely companion, Mr. Snuggles. And you're gonna see a lot of people here today, because there's a lot of people here today. We're now on what used to be the Transcontinental Railroad. These tunnels, the entire tunnel system that you are going to be seeing today, was constructed for the use of immigrant labor, Chinese immigrants. And their story is not often told, it's not often acknowledged, that without their labor on the Transcontinental Railroad, there would have been no Transcontinental Railroad. So we're coming out of the tunnel here. Coming out of the tunnel, I can finally turn this on myself without my gigantic light on. All right, so we've done tunnel number 6. I believe it's called tunnel number 6. Get that, do you need help? There you go, okay. So if you can picture this place with railroad tracks in place, and it's not that difficult to do. This is where so many people over the decades, starting in the late 1860s, where they passed through. But when I think about this area, and when I visit this area, it just reminds me so much of the Old West and what was here. Now what's here is a lot of tourists. So you're gonna see, unfortunately, a ton of people today. I'm not happy about it. I'm really not happy about it. We all know my opinions of people, on people and traveling. We all know that I am an introverted traveler. I prefer not having people around, but you know, sometimes you do what you can. Now you would think mysterious train tunnels in the middle of nowhere would not be such a huge tourist attraction, but I'm telling you, up here, it's like Disneyland. I don't believe that these tunnels are maintenanced anymore in any way, but I may be wrong about that, I don't know. But they have not been used since the 1990s. There is a push to preserve these tunnels. But right now, currently, this big piece of history that we're walking through, this place that's been graffitied beyond belief is not protected. I don't believe it's recognized, and I believe it's on a list for endangered historical sites just because it has not been protected. All right, headed back to the next tunnel. Honestly, I've lost track of which tunnel is which. I think this is like tunnel number something or other. All right, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I am up here at Donner Lake. We've just completed the first stretch of the Donner train tunnels, and now we are actually going to do a little bit more hiking out here. I had to change out my GoPro battery, but I wanted to give everybody a little bit of view of the scenery. So according to my All Trails map, the hike through the tunnels continues and keeps going, and then it's supposed to loop around. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to do that, but apparently I'm on the correct path to do it. Well, as you can see, fine dining is happening here in the Sierras. He is tasting the assorted grasses and plants. Yes, does that taste yummy? Is that a yummy treat? I don't understand it. They say that dogs do that because it's like medicine for their tummies, but mine just eats grass all the time. I'm pretty sure he just likes it. It's like a salad. He's not a vegetarian, but I mean, I'm a vegetarian, so maybe he's trying to be, you know, except for those occasional chunks of chicken and stuff we give him. You know, maybe he's trying to do better in his life. I don't know. I have no idea, but he loves to eat the vegetation. So we're having a little trail snack. Well, leave it up to All Trails to find us a trail that goes up. So now we're hiking up the side of the mountain, and it looks like this is going to be looping back in a minute, back towards the train tunnels. As you can see, we're reaching the top of the trail here. My dog is not amused by going uphill, but I think he'll survive. This hike is called the Historic Donner Pass Trail. So far, we've gone through the Donner train tunnels. We showed you that earlier. Now the trail has gone off of where the old trail or the old train tracks would have been. We are headed up a side trail parallel to where we were. I gotta untangle the dog here. Parallel to where we were, but now headed up the side of the hill, side of the mountain, above where the snow sheds are. Well, my dog is certainly not happy with me. We are going, as you can see, hopefully, uphill. He is, well, he's getting filthy, but he's not happy going uphill. He doesn't like going uphill. We are on just the weirdest trail. Not sure this is an actual trail or if it's a road that's been converted into a trail. I don't know. It looks more roadish to me, but we're trying to climb up the mountains here, and I'm at altitude, so I huff and puff in general, but a little bit harder today. You want a break, buddy? Yeah. As you can see, we're in wildflower land at the moment. It's really beautiful here. I mean, I love the Pacific Crest Trail, which, by the way, is right next to this area. But there is more than just the Pacific Crest Trail. There's all sorts of trails and all sorts of adventures, and we're doing them today. All right, change of plans. I have flowers all around me. I have a macro lens and a camera. I can't resist, so I'm gonna do some photography here. I can't talk because I've just hiked up a hill, but yeah, I think it's time for photographs. You're gonna have a snooze, Snuggles. You tired? You gonna wait for me to do my photographing? Are you? Okay. You can be right there. Look at you. You're like a wild beast in the wildflowers. No, don't eat any of the flowers, please. I beg you. So, update. More hills. More uphills. Dog's not happy with me. We stopped, we took some you know, when I'm hiking, I lose all ability to talk. I took some pictures. And so he got a little bit of rest in the shade. As you can see, he's kind of dragging now, but he's okay. I'll give him water again in a minute. But we're going uphill. Again. Life is an uphill battle, folks. And that is no different out here in the Sierra Nevadas. But apparently we're experiencing history. So there's a long history of people walking uphill. And we're figuring that out now. Well, it looks like we've made it to the top of wherever we were going, and check out the reward. It is beautiful. So for those of you who are looking for this on the All Trails app, I believe it's the Donnet Summit Historic Hike or something along those lines. But it takes you right through the train tunnels, and then it takes you right here. I love my hobbies. What about you? He doesn't love my hobbies. It makes him work. It is apparently lunchtime here on the hiking trail, so we can go no further until someone takes his break. As you do know, he is part of the dog labor union, and there is a mandated lunch break. I think I might have passed it because it's supposed to be at noon, and then again at 12:30, and then again at 1, and then again at 1:30 with snacks from 1:45 to 5 p.m. But you know, we're out in the wild here, so he's having his meal, his mandatory meal. Well, as is typical for me, the All Trails app, I don't know if any of you use the All Trails app, but it's not the most user-friendly thing sometimes. Either that or I just suck at reading maps, because the dog and I just spent half an hour trying to find the right path. Excuse me. And it was right in front of us. But the map, well, I mean, the map doesn't show contours, or at least my map doesn't. And I couldn't figure out that there was a tiny little path down the side of the hill we were on, and I kept going in the other direction because there were multiple paths up there, and the app kept saying I was out in the boonies, so I had to walk around. We went in circles multiple times, and we finally have found, ta-da, the right path. Now here's a angle of the train tunnels that we haven't seen before, looking at one of the snow sheds. And I think that actually might be the big long snow shed that we were in when we first came in. The dog and I are headed down there. I'm not exactly sure it connects. I don't know what it does. You can see there's actually people standing on top of the snow shed, so you can climb up there. And that was my original thought, was this trail somehow connected up there. I don't really want to go on top. I don't advise that. But I've also seen a lot of people doing all sorts of stupid things today, climbing on things that really shouldn't. Remember, folks, if you do come out here, these train tunnels that you're looking at down there, those train sheds, not maintained. But don't go hanging on things. Don't go climbing on top of things, because it's just not going to end well. I mean, there's a potential for danger there. So, speaking of danger, look at this. He wants to go. He's pulling me down a pretty steep hill. Snuggles, I don't want to die. Just give me a minute. I'm navigating slowly. Slowly. Thank you. Jeez, pushy little thing. Back into the breach. Back into the tunnels. Headed back to my car. So, in case you're wondering, the trail came back down, connected back to the tunnels, and now we're back in the bat cave, trying to avoid, you know, Dracula or whoever lives in here. This is what I was talking about with unmaintained train tunnels. You got quite a bit of damage and debris there. So be careful if you come here. There's a lot of things in the dark that you may fall over. Well, one last look at the Donner tunnels. We are done. We are back. Made it back to the car. He's happy. I'm happy. We are done. Finite. Finished. We just said goodbye to the last train tunnel, which was tunnel number 6 again. And we have made it back. Now, there's a rumor that I heard on the way in that there is a meadow full of wildflowers. I was stopped by somebody who supposedly works here. We're actually at a ski resort, although it's during the summer, but she apparently works in this area and gave me directions to the meadow. So, our next adventure, we're gonna go take a look and see if we can find the meadow. And if I find some cool wildflower pictures, I'll tag them on to the end of this video. Take a look at the parking lot. A lot fewer people, so I guess if you're gonna come here, come in the late afternoon or maybe the very early morning. I can tell you 11 o'clock was hell. People everywhere. And if you want a good experience, you know, spooky tunnels, don't go in there with 400 tourists. It's been quite the adventure today. So, just to recap, we saw historic train tunnels. We went up steep mountains. We photographed wildflowers, and now we're headed to find a mysterious meadow that may be the macro photography mecca. I don't know. But as far as this vlog goes, I think it's time to call it a day. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming on this historic journey with us. Remember to stay introverted, and I'll see you next time. So that anonymous tip I received this morning about the field full of wildflowers turned out to be completely 100% true. I had to go down a dirt road. I had to go down a dirt road that had signs that said road closed after railroad crossing. I had to ignore those signs. I had to keep driving. And now I'm out here in a meadow. And I've already taken a bunch of GoPro shots of the meadow, so I'll splice those in after this. But yeah, if you ever get anonymous tips from mysterious women who are telling you to go down mystery roads with the promise of a kingdom of wildflowers, take it. It's worth it. Because as I just proved, or will prove in this video, it can reap rewards. Okay, I'm tired. The dog's tired. So once again, stay introverted, and thank you everybody for watching. Snuggles, you're photobombing. Don't look at the camera, you're photobombing. Get out of there, go.